He was a hugely important national figure, and I was lucky enough to get to know him as a friend. It's hard to explain to people nowadays just what a huge figure Hugh MacLennan was in the 50s and 60s. I think Margaret Atwood would probably be the closest equivalent now. The family moved to Halifax, and Hugh experienced the Halifax explosion. And then he went to Dalhousie, then got a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford, and then PhD at Princeton. It was the Depression. The best he could do was get a job in teaching school at Lower Canada College in Montreal. And that was where he wrote his first trailblazing novel, Barometer Rising, 1941. And I'd like to read what I think is arguably the most important paragraph in Canadian history, Canadian literary history, because in those days, setting a novel in Canada was so eccentric that in the preface, Hugh feels obliged to explain that although he uses real Halifax place names, the characters in the book are not real people. Amazing. And early in the book, his hero walks around through those named Halifax streets. And then we come to, as I say, this important paragraph. He looks up into the winter sky where stars are becoming visible, and quote, "The sun had rolled on beyond Nova Scotia into the west. Now it was setting over Montreal and sending the shadow of the mountain deep into the valleys of Sherbrooke Street and Peel. It was turning the frozen St. Lawrence crimson," and so on, across the Great Lakes, across the frozen prairies, across the obelisks of the Rockies, all the way to Vancouver, where the railway line, as he said, lies with one end in the darkness of Nova Scotia and the other in the flush of a British Columbia noon. In the fall of 1941, with the war going badly, you can imagine what this book about Canada seen from overhead through the imagination of a novelist, the impact it had on Canadian readers. It was a huge success, and it's still selling well 70 years later.